Welcome to a journey back in time to the sun-drenched lands of ancient Egypt, where one pharaoh dared to challenge millennia of tradition. This is the story of Akhenaten, the heretic king, a visionary whose reign remains one of the most fascinating and controversial chapters in human history. For nearly 3,000 years, Egypt was a civilization defined by its pantheon of gods, a complex web of deities who governed every aspect of life and death. But in the 14th century BC, a new pharaoh ascended the throne, and with him came a revolution that would shake the very foundations of this ancient world. His name was Amenhotep IV, but history would remember him as Akhenaten. Akhenaten was a revolutionary pharaoh of the powerful 18th dynasty, a lineage that included legendary rulers like Thutmose III and Hatshepsut. He is celebrated, and in his time, vilified, for attempting to establish one of the first recorded monotheistic religions in history. He declared that there was only one true god, the Aten, represented not as a human or animal, but as the physical disk of the sun, the source of all light and life. This radical departure from the polytheistic worship that had defined Egypt for centuries was not just a theological shift. It was a direct challenge to the immense power held by the established priesthood, particularly the priests of the chief god Amarna. Born into the opulent royal court at Thebes, the young prince Amenhotep was initially raised in the traditional religious practices of his ancestors. Thebes was the religious heart of the empire, home to the magnificent Karnak temple, a sprawling complex dedicated to Amarna and the other gods. For generations, the pharaohs had ruled as the divine intermediary between the gods and humanity, their authority inextricably linked to this ancient pantheon. However, shortly after ascending to the throne and taking the name Amenhotep IV, the young king began to signal his dramatic change in direction. He introduced radical reforms, gradually elevating the Aten above all other gods and, in doing so, challenging the powerful and wealthy priesthood of Amen, who had grown to rival the pharaoh's own authority. In a move of breathtaking ambition, Akhenaten abandoned the ancient capital of Thebes. He declared that this city, with its deep-rooted devotion to the old gods, was no longer fit to be the center of his new world. He led his followers into the desert, to a virgin site midway between Thebes and Memphis. Here, he founded a new capital city, a metropolis built from scratch, dedicated solely to his one god. He called it Akhetaten, meaning the horizon of the Aten. Today, we know this lost city as Amarna. Akhetaten was a city born of a singular vision. It was meticulously planned to honor the Aten. Grand temples, open to the sky, were designed to allow the sun's rays to flood the ceremonial spaces. Palaces and official buildings were aligned with the sun's daily path across the sky. For a brief, brilliant period, Amarna became the vibrant political and religious center of the Egyptian empire, a testament to one man's unwavering belief. The revolution did not stop with religion and politics. It permeated every aspect of Egyptian culture, most notably its art. The art of Akhenaten's reign was a startling departure from tradition. For centuries, Egyptian art had been characterized by rigid, idealized forms, depicting pharaohs as flawless, godlike figures. Akhenaten shattered this convention. The new Amarna style was marked by a surprising naturalism and, at times, an almost exaggerated realism. Statues and reliefs from this period show the pharaoh not as an invincible warrior, but as a man with a long face, full lips, and a slender, almost androgynous body. Most revolutionary of all were the depictions of the royal family. They were shown in intimate, unguarded moments playing with their children, mourning their loss, sharing a tender embrace. This was a portrayal of royalty the world had never seen before, emphasizing their humanity and their role as a family unit under the benevolent gaze of the Aten. At the heart of this new world was Queen Nefertiti, Akhenaten's great royal wife. Her name means the beautiful one has come, and her iconic bust, discovered in 1912, has made her one of the most famous women of the ancient world. But Nefertiti was far more than just a beautiful queen. Inscriptions and reliefs show that she played a significant and unusually prominent role in the religious and political life of the kingdom. She is often depicted in poses of power once reserved for the pharaoh alone, such as smiting Egypt's enemies. Together with their 6 daughters, Akhenaten and Nefertiti formed the Holy Trinity of the new religion. They were the sole intermediaries between the Aten and humanity. Countless artworks show the family making offerings to the sun disk, whose rays end in tiny hands, extending the ankh, the symbol of life, to the nostrils of the king and queen. This imagery was central to the new faith. Only through the royal family could humanity receive the life-giving energy of the one true God. Akhenaten's monotheistic worship of the Aten represented a profound theological shift. The Great Hymn to the Aten, a text discovered in a tomb at Amarna, and attributed by some to Akhenaten himself, celebrates the sun as the universal creator, the source of life for all people, not just Egyptians. It is a beautiful piece of poetry that praises the Aten's role in creating the natural world, from the fish in the river to the birds in the sky. In this new doctrine, the complex and often fearsome underworld of the old gods was replaced by a simple belief that life was a gift from the sun. And that connection to the divine was achieved through the pharaoh. The pharaoh was no longer just the representative of the gods on earth. He and his family were the exclusive conduits of divine power. This new theology effectively stripped the old priesthood of their purpose and their power. Despite his innovative vision and the beauty of his new religion, Akhenaten's reforms were deeply controversial and created widespread instability. The powerful priests of Amen, whose temples were closed and whose vast wealth was confiscated, fiercely opposed him from their old strongholds. The military and the traditional bureaucracy were likely unsettled by the radical changes and the move of the capital for the common people of Egypt. The abandonment of the gods they had worshipped for countless generations, gods who protected their homes, their harvests, and their passage into the afterlife must have been confusing and terrifying. After Akhenaten's reign of 17 years, his revolution quickly unraveled. His immediate successors, including the famous Tutankhamun, originally named Tutankhaten, reinstated the old gods and abandoned the city of Amarna. The priests of Amen returned to power with a vengeance. A systematic campaign was launched to erase Akhenaten from history. His name was chiseled from monuments, his statues were smashed, and his city in the desert was left to crumble back into the sand. For thousands of years, the heretic pharaoh was largely forgotten, a lost footnote in the long history of Egypt. However, although Akhenaten's religious revolution was short-lived, his legacy endured. His bold attempt at monotheism has led to endless speculation about his potential influence on later religions. His unique artistic style, with its focus on naturalism and intimacy, remains a subject of intense fascination for historians and art lovers. The rediscovery of Amarna in the 19th century opened a window into his world, revealing the story of a ruler who was centuries ahead of his time. Akhenaten remains one of ancient Egypt's most enigmatic and intriguing pharaohs. Was he a divinely inspired prophet or a tyrannical fanatic? A loving family man or a despot who plunged his country into chaos? His reign challenges our understanding of power, religion, and art in one of history's greatest civilizations. His story is a powerful reminder that even in the most ancient of societies, a single individual with a radical idea can change the world, even if only for a moment. The sun has set on Akhenaten's city, but the light of his revolutionary vision continues to captivate and inspire us to this day. Thank you for watching. If you found this journey into the past interesting, Please like this video and subscribe for more stories from history.